GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, Wildwood. I'm Brooke Mancini. Tonight we'll break down the severe thunderstorm warning moving across the shore, share the latest surf forecast for our beaches, and hear how the Back Bay redevelopment is moving forward. Over to you, Jake.
Tonight the Wildwood's Tattoo Beach Bash launches on the boardwalk, running through Saturday evening, featuring live DJs, tattoo stations, and free entry for all attendees.
The event kicks off at 6 p.m. near the Atlantic Avenue Pier, offering food trucks, local crafts, and a designated family zone for children's activities.
Organizers expect up to 3,000 visitors, with over 50 tattoo artists participating, and provide on-site first aid stations and security patrols throughout the night.
Lots to get to this evening, so stay with us as we dive into the night's events. Let's begin. Here are our top stories. Today's Jersey Shore weather brings sunny skies and moderate breezes, with surf expected to rise to 3 to 4 feet along Wildwood and neighboring beaches. Sean Mulvaney has the full story.
The latest shoreline briefing from NJ 100.5 rolls out a full picture of today's conditions along the Jersey coast. Forecasts detail expected temperature ranges, wind direction, surf heights, and tide schedules for the beaches, boardwalks, and bays that stretch from Cape May up to the Wildwood stretch. Meteorologists note a generally sunny sky with a light breeze coming off the Atlantic, keeping water temperatures comfortable for swimmers. Surf reports point to a steady swell that should hold steady through the afternoon, while tide charts indicate a higher tide approaching midday. The segment is aimed at helping both locals and visitors plan their day safely on the sand and water. Sean Mulvaney, GMNA News, Wildwood.
Forecasters have issued a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of New Jersey, including the coastal stretch, and the alert is set to take effect later today. They warn of heavy rain, strong wind gusts, and rapid road flooding that could develop within hours. Residents in the affected zones are urged to secure outdoor items, avoid non-essential travel, and stay tuned to local updates. The National Weather Service indicates that wind speeds may reach gusts strong enough to down trees and power lines, while rain intensity could overwhelm drainage systems quickly. Emergency services are on standby to respond to any incidents that arise. The warning remains in force until conditions subside, and authorities will lift it only when safety can be confirmed. Keep your radios or phones handy for further advisories as the storm moves inland.
Authorities in South Jersey say a coordinated cyber intrusion targeting the Cape May and Woodbine water systems was intercepted early this morning, keeping the public supply safe and preserving customer information. Engineers at both utilities detected unusual network activity and activated emergency response protocols, isolating compromised segments before any water quality was affected. State cyber officials confirmed that while the attackers attempted to access control systems, no chemicals were released and no personal data was extracted. Residents can continue to fill glasses and run appliances without concern, as the systems remain fully operational. Ongoing investigations are tracing the source of the breach, and utility managers are working with federal partners to reinforce defenses. Officials emphasized that the swift response underscores the resilience of the region's critical infrastructure amid a spate of recent utility cyber incidents.
Cape May has been named New Jersey's most iconic neighborhood in a national community survey released this week, highlighting the city's historic charm and tourism draw. Sean Mulvaney has the full story.
Officials announced today that Cape May has topped a survey ranking communities, earning the title of New Jersey's most iconic neighborhood. The poll, compiled by a research firm that surveyed thousands of respondents across the country, placed Cape May ahead of historic districts from Hoboken to Princeton. City leaders said the recognition reflects the town's Victorian architecture, beachfront promenade, and art scene. Tourism officials expect the accolade to draw more visitors as summer approaches, boosting local businesses that already thrive on seasonal influx. Results were released this week, confirming Cape May's standing in broader conversation about state's cultural landmarks. Merchants plan events throughout August to celebrate honor, featuring walking tour and waterfront concerts. Residents expressed pride, noting the award validates years of preservation efforts. Sean Mulvaney, GMNA News, Cape.
Stargazers across the Garden State can start planning their night sky adventure now, as the Perseids meteor shower reaches its peak on August 12th and 13th. A new guide released this week highlights the top viewing spots from the dunes of Cape May to the open fields of the Pine Barrens and even the rooftop decks of downtown Atlantic City. Astronomy clubs recommend heading to locations with minimal city lights, bringing a comfortable chair, and allowing at least 30 minutes for the sky to darken. The forecast calls for clear skies over most of the state, making it an ideal weekend for both residents and visitors to catch the streaking fireballs. The feature also points out free public events organized by local observatories, giving families a chance to learn the constellations while they watch the show. Coming up, we'll break down the Back Bay redevelopment advances to next phase in Wildwood and preview tonight's surf forecast. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. City officials announced Wednesday that the Back Bay redevelopment in Wildwood is moving into its next phase. The plan calls for a blend of mixed-use housing, new retail storefronts, and a series of public amenities along the waterfront. Construction crews are already on site, and the city says the project will create thousands of jobs and draw shoppers to the area. The next phase includes additional apartment units, a community park and a small ferry dock, all aimed at revitalizing the shoreline and giving residents more leisure options. Mayor Linda Ramirez highlighted that the effort is part of a broader strategy to boost the local economy and attract new businesses. The city expects the new facilities to open gradually over the coming years, with the first residents moving in later this decade.
Wildwood celebrated the 250th anniversary of America with fireworks, live music, and community events spanning the boardwalk and downtown on August 5th. The festivities drew visitors and highlighted national heritage. Sean Mulvaney has the full story.
Fireworks lit the night sky over the boardwalk Saturday, 2026, as crowds gathered for the town's 250th anniversary celebration. Live bands set up on downtown stages, playing everything from classic rock to local folk, while families strolled past food stalls and craft booths lining the promenade. Kids took part in sidewalk games, and a pop-up history exhibit let visitors trace the community's roots back to the early 19th century. The festivities stretched from sunrise on the pier to the final burst of color at midnight, drawing tourists from neighboring shore towns and keeping the streets buzzing with music and laughter. The celebration blended heritage with summer spirit. Sean Mulvaney, GMNA News, Boardwalk.
Douglas Ice Cream has added a fresh stop to the Wildwood Boardwalk, opening its hand-spun ice cream shop last week. The family-run business rolled out classic flavors from a bright seaside-themed storefront, inviting both locals and tourists to cool off with scoops of vanilla, chocolate, and seasonal fruit blends. The new spot sits just steps from the pier, where summer crowds can pause for a treat while strolling the boardwalk. Owners said the venture aims to become a go-to summer destination, complementing the area's existing eateries and amusement rides. Early visitors reported long lines and enthusiastic praise for the creamy texture and friendly service. With the boardwalk already bustling, the addition of Douglas Ice Cream provides another reason to linger longer and enjoy the season's warmth. Families can now snap photos beside the colorful signage, making the spot a popular backdrop for social media posts.
The 16th annual Tattoo Beach Bash has kicked off along the Wildwood shoreline and will run through Sunday. Organizers say the three-day festival celebrates the region's beach culture, drawing ink lovers and tourists to the sand. Live music, tattoo artists, food vendors, and a surf-side stage are already pulling crowds from sunrise to sunset. This year's lineup features a mix of classic rock bands and local DJs, while more than 30 tattoo stations set up shop along the boardwalk. Families and visitors are enjoying the open-air art demonstrations, and a charity raffle supports a coastal cleanup effort. With the sun high and the tide rolling in, the vibe stays lively and the beach remains a hub for both seasoned tattoo fans and first-time admirers. The bash continues through the weekend, promising more music, art, and seaside fun.
Baseball on the beach returns to the Wildwood's shoreline for 2 summer weekends, first from August 7th through 9th and again August 14th through 16th, offering family-friendly recreation. Sean Mulvaney has the full story.
Baseball diamonds have been set up right on the sand of the Wildwood's beachfront, where teams are teeing off for 2 back-to-back weekends. The first weekend runs from August 7th through 9th, with games every afternoon and evening. Second set of matches follows from August 14th through 16th, giving locals and tourists alike a chance to watch the sport in a seaside setting. Families gather on towels and folding chairs, kids clutching foam bats while vendors sell ice-cold lemonade and pretzels. The sand-filled outfield creates a slower, high-bouncing play that feels half-game, half-beach party, and crowds spill onto the boardwalk as the sun sets. Officials say the event draws hundreds of spectators each day, adding a lively, family-friendly option to the summer calendar. Sean Mulvaney, GMNA News, Wildwoods.
Let's get a quick look at tonight's weather and surf outlook right after this. A stubborn high-pressure ridge locks in heat, while a weak westerly jet drifts harmless clouds overhead. On this date, the all-time high reached 91 degrees in 2022, a blistering peak set during a lingering midsummer heat wave that pushed daily averages well above normal. The all-time low dropped to 54 degrees in 2015, an outlier that arrived with an early autumn cold snap despite the season's typical warmth. By contrast, today's climatological normals sit around 86 degrees high and 73 degrees low, underscoring how today's temperatures sit comfortably between the historic extremes. The live radar shows a completely clear swath across the county, with no echo returning from any direction. That emptiness reflects the entrenched high-pressure dome that is suppressing lift and keeping moisture at bay. A weak westerly jet at 14 miles per hour rides high above, offering no steering for storms. With no precipitation in sight, the sky will remain clear through the evening before the night finally settles. At 6 p.m., the city sits at 82 degrees, feeling like 90 under a cloudless dome. Humidity holds at 83% and the dew point rests at 77, so the air feels thick but steady. A gentle 6-mile-per-hour breeze from the south drifts across the lake, offering no relief from the warmth. The high for today will peak at 88 degrees, while the low tonight will dip to 73. A high-pressure ridge remains steady, and the weak westerly jet at 14 miles per hour provides gentle upper-level flow, keeping any disturbance at bay. With no fronts approaching, clouds will not develop and precipitation remains nil. UV index sits at 8, and wind will not exceed 12 miles per hour from the south. No weather alerts are active, so evening proceeds unimpeded. Looking ahead, Saturday will hold another warm day with a high of 88 degrees and a low of 73, but clouds will blanket the sky, bringing a dull, overcast feel. Sunday clears again, delivering a high of 84 and a low of 73 under a bright dome. Monday remains dry and clear, with a high of 82 and a low of 77, keeping nighttime comfort high. Tuesday introduces a shift as the upper flow allows a thin veil of clouds and a 20% chance of rain, while temperatures climb back to 88 with a low of 77. Wednesday stays overcast, holding a high of 84 and a low of 77, completing a stretch of cooler, cloudier mid-week weather. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Stay tuned for a quick update on clear traffic, Eagles training camp buzz, and tonight's Wildwood Tattoo Beach Bash. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Boardwalk closure remains in effect after an overnight curfew on the Wildwood Boardwalk, so beachside pedestrians and cyclists will need to detour around the south end near 31st Street. The alternate path follows Atlantic Avenue to the parking lot at 33rd, then loops back onto the boardwalk at the north entrance. Aside from that, all major arteries are moving smoothly. Route 1, Route 2, and Route 3 report free flow, and the southern connector to the Garden State Parkway shows no backups. Drivers heading downtown can expect the usual green wave through Main Street. No accidents or stalled vehicles are reported at this time. Transit stays on schedule with the Shoreline Trolley and the County Bus Line running on time. So for most commuters, it's a clear day on the road. Just remember the boardwalk detour if you're heading to the beach.
Wildwood Tattoo Beach Bash kicks off at the Convention Center on the boardwalk, a 3-day showcase of ink, contests, and vendors that turns our seaside into an artist's playground. If you're looking for a splash of color, this is the place to be. Tonight the boardwalk lights up with Friday night fireworks, a weekly burst of color that families and beachgoers gather around as the sun dips behind the dunes. It's a perfect excuse to grab a cold drink and watch the sky sparkle. Over in North Wildwater, National Lighthouse Day shines at Hereford Inlet Lighthouse, where volunteers open the historic tower and gardens for maritime history and photo ops, ideal for a coastal stroll. Looking ahead, tomorrow the Live Lake Ball 5-kilometer and 1-mile walk rolls out for a good cause, and on Thursday the Wildwood Navy SEAL Challenge will test endurance with a swim, run, and obstacle course on the sand. Plenty to keep the summer rolling. And now here's Luke with sports.
Summer heat fuels Philly teams grind as camps and contracts shape futures. Day 7 of Eagles camp saw quarterback Jalen Hurts watching a drill at Jefferson Health Training Center, underscoring his hands-on leadership as the squad rolls into Friday's full practice slate after a closed-door walkthrough Thursday, a key step toward shaping the 2026 roster. Wide receiver Dontavian Wicks ran a drill on August 4th, prompting running back Saquon Barkley to call the acquisition a steal. Barkley's endorsement highlights the rookie's immediate impact and could intensify the competition for slots alongside Devonta Smith as the Eagles shape their 2026 passing attack. The Flyers announced a 2-year extension with forward Nikita Grebinkin, locking in an average annual value of $1.1 million. Securing Grebinkin signals the club's belief he can solidify the second line and contribute offensively as Philadelphia eyes a playoff push. Rookie Justin Crawford chatted with new teammate Luis Ariz in the first base dugout during the second inning, a moment the Phillies tout as mentorship in action. Ariz's 3-time batting champion pedigree offers Crawford a blueprint for contact hitting as Philadelphia builds its 2026 lineup. After a week of practices at Jefferson Health Training Complex, the Eagles have identified 17 winners, 8 losers, and 5 unanswered questions. Among the standouts, Dontavian Wicks's ball-carrying drills signal a potential breakout, while several veterans still need to prove their depth ahead of preseason. Quarterback Jalen Hurts took a moment in an unprompted interview to commend receiver Darius Cooper, adding weight to the young man's push for playing time. Hurts's public nod, alongside veteran Devonta Smith, hints at a competitive receiver room that could reshape Philadelphia's aerial strategy.
Lighthouse Kitchen and Cafe, right in the heart of downtown Wildwood at 3109 Pacific Avenue, is set to swing its doors open this week. The spot will serve breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even late-night bites, operating 24/7 for locals and tourists who wander the boardwalk. Housed in the former Ramadil Pickling Co. building, the kitchen blends fresh seafood with seasonal farm produce, giving the neighborhood a new gathering place after dark. City officials say the opening adds another vibrant thread to downtown's revitalization, and longtime resident Maria Torres says the cafe will be the place we all meet after a day on the beach. It also creates 10 new jobs, keeping local talent close to home. We'll reveal how a Cape May Point home sold for $2.09 million, topping the county list, and what's next. Stay with us. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. A Cape May Point single-family home sold for $2.9 million, marking the highest price in Cape May County this week. Danielle Fior has the full story.
Inside a seaside enclave of Cape May Point, a modest-sized single-family home changed hands for $2.9 million, marking the top price recorded in Cape May County for the week spanning July 27 through August 2. The sale was completed between those dates, with the buyer and seller remaining private. The property, tucked near the historic lighthouse and just steps from the Atlantic shoreline, features 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a renovated kitchen that attracted multiple offers. The home sits on a half-acre lot with a small garden and direct access to the town's walking trail. Real estate activity in the region has stayed brisk, and this transaction underscores the demand for coastal homes as summer draws near. Danielle Fior, GMNA News, Cape May Point.
Atlantic County crews have closed Dura Street between Philadelphia Avenue and Cologne Avenue for a new guide drill, halting through traffic Monday through Friday starting the week of August 7, 2026. Alyssa Kowalczyk has the full story.
Dura Street is closed to through traffic, while Atlantic County crews install a new guide rail. The blockage runs from Philadelphia Avenue in Egg Harbor City to Cologne Avenue in Galloway Township. Work will continue Monday through Friday, beginning the week of August 7th, 2026, and is expected to remain in place until the project is finished. Drivers are being rerouted onto nearby side streets, and traffic signals along the corridor have been adjusted to accommodate the shift. The installation is part of a regional effort to improve road safety along the busy thoroughfare, easing the flow for commuters and commercial vehicles alike. Alyssa Kowalczyk, GMNA News, Egg Harbor City.
Thank you for joining us on the local sunset, Wildwood. From today's thrilling Cape May cyber attack thwart and the spectacular Perseids viewing spots to the boardwalk buzz, there's plenty to celebrate. Stay tuned tomorrow for more local stories and sunrise updates. Until then, keep the shoreline spirit alive.